Hey there, it's Stephanie Shea, Chief Astrologer for janspiller.com with your monthly horoscope, and this one's for you, Cancer. As we come into November, we've got the sun shining in Scorpio all the way through the 20th, and Scorpio is another water sign like Cancer. This means the Scorpio sun forms a favorable trine to your Cancer sun. This will give you a boost as far as getting in touch with your intuition and gaining more understanding about a mysterious situation. Now, both Mars and Mercury will be retrograde as the month begins, which could make things feel confusing and frustratingly slow. This is not new energy. We've been dealing with Mars retrograde since September 9th and Mercury retrograde since October 13th. So you can take heart and know that by mid-month, both of these planets will have stationed direct just in time for the new moon, and this should help to facilitate some new beginnings during the second half of November. Let's look at Mercury. Mercury will station direct at 25 degrees of Libra on November 3rd. Now, if you were born on or around July 18th of any year, or you happen to have around 25 degrees of Cancer rising, you'll likely feel the biggest shift around the time of Mercury's station direct, because Mercury has been making a square to your sun sign, or if you're a Cancer rising person, around 25 degrees of Cancer, you've been getting that Mercury square. So it's possible that you've been missing information that you need to solve a problem, or that other people's lack of communication has been presenting obstacles to your progress. Once Mercury stations direct, it will be easier to open the lines of communication and formulate a plan with others. So you can plan ahead as far as when you want to try to facilitate those conversations. Keep in mind that we'll be in the shadow phase of this Mercury retrograde cycle until November 20th. So avoid feeling pressured or rushed to make a final plan, even though Mercury will officially be direct. It's more of a yellow light when we're clearing that shadow phase. You still need to check your details. You can make some tentative plans and then solidify things towards the end of the month or the beginning of December. Okay, so on November 13th, Mars will station direct at around 15 degrees of Aries. And as I said before, this ends a cycle that began back on September 9th. Here is another inner planet that's been in retrograde that is squaring your sun. You've been getting it from both sides. So if you were born on or around July 7th of any year, or have around 15 degrees of Cancer rising, you could feel this station the most. I think the challenge of Mars retrograde in the sign of Aries, especially when it's making a tense aspect like a square to your sun sign, can be just being patient. Mars is very powerful in Aries. It's what lights a fire in us and helps us get things done. This can really help for Cancers who sometimes procrastinate or are waiting for the time to feel right. Mars and Aries can come along and say, hey, let's just do it. We'll refine as we go. However, when it's in retrograde, it can backfire. It can push you to just do something too quickly, to react and take action that you kind of wish you hadn't. So if you've been grappling with things like that, know that after November 13th, Mars will station direct, and you can use the second half of the month to get motivated about some personal goals. Now, when Mars moves forward in Aries, it's got that motivation quality I was talking about that can be worked with much more productively. And you're less likely also to have any type of physical injury. That's another negative side effect sometimes of Mars retrograde, is wanting to just hurry up and do something and perhaps not taking safety precautions. Once Mars is moving forward, the second half of the month could be a good time if you wanted to add more physical activity, for example, into your daily habits. You're less likely to get carried away and overdo it. So it's also a good time to break through self-imposed limitations. Just remember, you don't have to do everything this month. The good news is Mars will be in Aries through January 6th, so pace yourself. And again, we're moving through the shadow phase of Mars retrograde. Yes, it'll feel more in the flow, and we have to kind of clear that whole big retrograde cycle that just happened. So you can use it quite productively during the second part of November and as we move in towards the new year. We've got November 15th, new moon at 23 degrees of Scorpio. This is an especially good new moon for Cancers to set intentions related to romantic partnership, creative projects, emotional understanding, parenting or other relationships with children, and feeling confident. So this is a really good one. Again, it's at a favorable trine to your sun, water sign, new moon. And if you set intentions last month in October during the double retrogrades, you can use November's new moon as an opportunity to restate any intentions you really want to reinforce. If you're not already a member of janspiller.com, I encourage you to go check out the website. We have some low-cost membership options that will allow you to gain access to the best time to set your new moon intentions. And this was Jan Spiller's specialty. She wrote New Moon Astrology. And there really are more powerful times than others for intention setting. So if you want to get the most out of this practice, you can check that out on our memberships page. The sun is going to ingress into Sagittarius on the 21st, and that will turn your attention towards your daily habits. It could be time to incorporate more physical activity, as I mentioned. The Sagittarius sun is also probably going to fire you up. You may just need some more excitement and fun into your daily routines, and try to break out of any ruts that you've been in. It's a really good use of that end of the month astrology. Now we've got the November 30th full moon lunar eclipse at 8 degrees of Gemini. This eclipse will be helpful to bring a dream to light. You could realize a way to work towards a goal that may have previously seemed unrealistic. There's a real clarity to this Gemini full moon lunar eclipse. It's all about the information, the details, and looking at things from a different perspective. It'll almost feel, I think, as if someone has turned on a light bulb and you can suddenly see something you couldn't see before. This eclipse is really going to help you with your connections, and if you've been overlooking any important details, you might discover what you need to make a current plan more practical and doable. So I hope you can use this month's astrology to your best advantage. Please be safe and be well. And I'll see you here next month with your horoscope.